Ask me. Okay. Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. My name is Stephanie, and along with my partner Ethan, we are two Canadian resellers of used clothing. We sell on Poshmark Canada, Poshmark US, and on eBay. So today's video is going to be all about Poshmark Canada. It's going to be about an announcement that came out this morning that was previewed a week or two ago that just is... oh, it's a lot. So I'm rarely critical of Poshmark, and in particular Poshmark Canada. I like them. They've given me this job that we do. They still where I make the most sales, and yeah, I've always thought that for the amount that shipping was, especially in Canada, that the 20% fee was totally worth it, and for the protection that you get as a seller and as a buyer. And I still have a generally favorable opinion of Poshmark. And so it took me a long time when there were algorithm changes to come out and say, yeah, we're being affected. Our sales are slower. This is making things harder for us. Because I didn't want to jump to any conclusions, especially because, my listings vary. I don't like to jump to conclusions, and I know that today is the first day we're finding out about this, and I'm not trying to jump to any conclusions. All I want to do is tell you guys everything I know about it and honestly tell you how I feel about it, because I'm pretty mad. So let's get into why. What was the change? The headline is that Poshmark is now shipping mainly through Purolator from Canada and not as much through Canada Post. You can still choose Canada Post, but because the price with Canada Post, and I'm assuming this is why they did this, the price with Canada Post is now $17.99, where it used to be $13.49. I think that's like $4.50. I'm bad at math. Yeah, $4.50 more than it was before, and that's just like a new change overnight. Suddenly, if you want Canada Post to deliver it to your house, it will be $18, which is prohibitively expensive for shipping costs, especially in the age of Amazon in 2022. People expect free shipping on things. That's just par for the course now. So obviously that is why Poshmark Canada had to make this change, and I understand that. I just wish it had been communicated a bit better. So now you're going to have some shipping options. You're going to have $8.99 for package pickup. That's you, the buyer, go pick it up at your nearest Purolator pickup location. $13.49 for home delivery with Purolator. That's obviously just the exact same as it was with Canada Post. So similar but no changes there, although I've had a lot of things be dropped off here with Purolator before. And if you don't answer their knock, and sometimes they don't even knock, you'll be picking it up anyway. So I would honestly do the package pickup, because then you at least get to pick where you get to pick it up, as opposed to them leaving you a notice and you having to drive to wherever they brought it back to. That's just how been my experiences with Purolator in the past. Purolator's honestly my least favorite shipping company, and it's disheartening to me that now the platform that I sell on, we really still do most of our sales on Poshmark Canada, and now that's the shipping company that I have to use. I have no choice. It would have been one thing if they had included choices for us, like, now you buy the shipping label and you attach it and you put it on. Like, there were so many ways they could have done this that weren't this. So about a week and a half ago, they announced there would be new shipping options with $8.99 shipping, and that was the entire headline. Just, there's going to be cheaper shipping. It's going to be great. That was all they said, which is just so fucking disingenuous. And that's still the headline that they're trying to go with. Now you can ship for only $8.99. But they didn't mention that, like, the $8.99 option isn't a ship directly to you. It's a ship to a near location. And, okay, I was a little bit more concerned about this when I first heard about it. When I went into theoretically buy something, if I click something in Poshmark, if I hit buy now, first thing I want you to know is that the home delivery is the baseline. So if you just click buy now, it's going to say home delivery is the default option, and you have to select for the cheaper $8.99 drop-off locations. So I hit tap for new options, and then I hit pickup point Purolator eco-friendly. Don't even get me started on the eco-friendly nonsense. So you select that, and then what will happen is a drop-down menu will come up with the nearest ones near you. Now, we live in an urban center. We are very close to Vancouver. So there is a Purolator pickup and drop-off location that is within 3 kilometers of us. So that's about a 3-4 minute drive. It's pretty close. I called them because I wanted to make sure this was true before I told you guys this. I called them and I said, do you accept packages dropped off with prepaid Purolator labels? And they said, yes, we do. So call your nearest pickup and drop off location, make sure that's true for you. But if that is true, then I was a little more concerned when I thought it was just going to be the closest Purolator to us, because the closest Purolator to us is a 25-minute drive, which is prohibitively expensive for us driving an SUV with gas prices what they are now, right? So that's one aspect of it. Then of course you can also choose Canada Post. And one thing I really want to draw your attention to, because they released a frequently asked questions thing on their blog. I read through all of it, and it does not mention this anywhere, not in the announcement, not in the blog, not in the frequently asked questions. But it is true that these Purolator labels are not the same as the Canada Post labels we used to ship with. What I mean by that is you cannot put up to 5 pounds of inventory in those boxes and ship no problem. These labels have a maximum weight of 2 pounds. There's less than half. It used to be 2.5 kilograms with Canada Post. Now these Purolator labels, if you go to print one, you will see it says weight 2 pounds. So I don't know if, because it did used to say on the Canada Post labels a little bit less than the maximum weight it allowed for. So they might allow for a bit over 2 pounds. Maybe they just decided to print an average on the labels. But my point is we don't know because they haven't told us. They haven't answered that question anywhere. So I'm going to assume, based on just the lack of respect we've already received in getting this new information, that the maximum I can put in that box is 2 pounds. So that's the assumption I'm going with. And until I hear otherwise, I wouldn't be putting more stuff in there. Now, if that is true and someone buys a big bundle from you, it is now cheaper for you to go with the original Canada Post option, even though it's $18, than it is for 2 Purolator labels that are going to add up to, I don't know, of the 2 of the $8.99 ones would be $18. But 2 of the other ones would be more than that. So keep that in mind when you're shipping. Make sure you're checking with them, like if they're weighing the packages, if they're doing all that, their due diligence, as some offices do, we found, and some don't. If they are weighing it and the max weight is now 2 pounds, then you're going to have to keep that heavily in mind when you're selling like boots, leather goods, bundles, anything like that. So that's one thing I really wanted to get out to you guys ASAP, so you don't bring something to a Purolator and then find out that they're not going to take it because it's too heavy, which is just a lovely position to be put in. Thank you so much for that. You freaking, okay. I digress. Let's go over the frequently asked questions on their page. So, introducing new shipping options starting at $8.99. I just love the way they market things. It says with 1,700 plus locations across the country, Purolator offers convenient shipping and receiving options for Poshmark users starting at just $8.99. Notably, there are a lot more Canada Post locations than there are Purolator locations. And like I mentioned before, there might be a closer pickup or drop-off location with Purolator than your nearest Purolator. But even still, like one of our good Posh friends, Southwell Posh, or Loren, she just posted on her stories that when she clicked into that $8.99 pickup point location, and it's supposed to have the drop-down menu, it said that there weren't any pickup locations found near her, which is ridiculous. She lives on Vancouver Island. It's fairly populated. For her to not have any locations near her, like, I don't know how that's going to affect a lot of people's closets in terms of how often they can ship, whether they can ship at all. And, you know, if you don't have transportation, you don't have a car, you're shipping a lot of packages, how is this going to work for you? How far is the Purolator home pickup going to go? As I mentioned, I don't think they would come to us because we're in an apartment building. I don't know what other stipulations they're going to have to that. I'm guessing it's going to be on a case-by-case basis and depending on who you talk to. Why did you partner with Purolator? Now, I'm not thrilled with this, but I do understand this. I don't like Purolator as a company. So it's a little disheartening, but if Canada Post shipping was going up to $18, and let us all assume Posh Canada cannot control that. Like, we all know inflation's gone up. We all know gas prices have gone up through the roof. We all know that things are just more expensive now. So a shipping increase isn't terribly surprising. And I'm somewhat pleased with Poshmark Canada for trying to get around that, because yes, $18 to ship something is prohibitive of people buying it. Like, that's not a 2022 shipping rate. It's just not. Where do I select which option to use when placing my next order? So as I mentioned, the default is going to be the home delivery, which is $13.49. You have to go in and select pickup location if that is what you want. As I also mentioned, I kind of recommend that because my experience with having Purolator deliver Amazon things to us is that they often leave a notice and then they'll put it wherever they want, right? So I would honestly, every time from now on, be using that pickup location if you have access to one, which a lot of people won't, which is absolutely ridiculous, but I digress. How will I know if my buyer selected Purolator or Canada Post? Obviously, they're going to send you a shipping label, and at the top, it's going to say it's going to be a Canada Post label or it's going to be a Purolator label. I think that one's pretty obvious. It's funny because that's not one of my questions, but it's nice that they answered it, and I'm sure no one needed to ask that. I sold an item with Purolator. How do I schedule a package pickup with Purolator? This is relatively nice that they do have this, a direct link on their blog here, which we'll link down below in this video. We're going to link to this blog post so that you can see exactly what Poshmark's saying about this whole situation. It says, go to your sales, select the order you would like to schedule, hit problems order inquiry, which is whatever, and schedule a pickup. So you can do it right through the Poshmark app, which is nice. Why is the Purolator pickup shipping option considered eco-friendly? It's a paragraph of an answer. Basically, they say, because if you choose this, you could walk to go get it or you could bike to go get it. And I don't know anyone who's ever chosen to bike to go get a package, especially if it was a large box, but that's fine. It's obviously like they just wanted to put the stamp eco-friendly on it, and it's just greenwashing is what it is, and it's disappointing, but at this point, that's the least of my problems with this. And then what if I purchased an item that needs to be authenticated? It says here that that'll still be going through Canada Post, and it will still be the way that it was. I don't know if that means it'll still be $3.99 with Canada Post. I don't know if Canada Post will be charging Poshmark more than it was to ship it to them and then to the buyer. I don't know if they're going to eat that cost based on what I'm seeing here. Probably not. But it was $3.99 before if you ordered something over $700 and it shipped to Poshmark headquarters and then to you, the buyer. They did not answer whether or not that cost is going to be the same. They just said it'll still be going through Canada Post. Other things they didn't answer, which are questions I think we all have, is how is closet clearout going to work now? If the options are the same to discount it to $9.99 shipping, but your buyer ends up choosing the Canada Post option, are you then discounting it that entire $7, $8, $9? I'm bad at math. Instead of the $3.50 that it was before? How are offers to likers going to work if you're discounting shipping? For the same question, so far as I'm operating the app, none of that has changed. The options for offers to likers are still that you have to choose $9.99 or $6.99 shipping, which is frustrating. I wish we had answers to that, but as is their style lately, threw this at us, and they will answer questions later, I'm assuming, in maybe some sort of chat. And what was the other question I had? The other question I have is because I'm just looking at how this is going now, and I don't know. So if you tap for new shipping options right now, and I'm filming this at 12:30 on June 14th, the day this news came out, currently the $8.99 is crossed out to $4.49. The $13.49 is crossed out to $8.99, and the Canada Post $17.99 is crossed out to $13.49. The crossed outness of this makes me think this is definitely temporary. They're not lowering these costs in response to our outrage permanently, but they seem to have lowered it. When I first found these options an hour ago, they were their regular prices. Now they're a certain discount off. I don't know how long this is going to last. They haven't told us. They haven't told us a lot. So basically my main issue with this whole thing is the lack of communication and these are all the positives. Please don't ask us or tell us or think about the negatives when there are a lot of negatives for a lot of Canadians. There are going to be a lot of Canadian Poshmark sellers that don't have access to a pickup or drop off location within a 15-20 minute drive of them. And that's really disheartening. I'm hoping maybe this is a step on the journey towards Poshmark Canada giving us the option to pick how we ship. Maybe one day we'll be able to print our own shipping label like with eBay and attach it, pay for it ourselves, charge the buyer whatever we want to charge them for shipping, essentially like eBay. But yeah, it's hard. I try not to be critical of Poshmark, in particular Poshmark Canada. I don't understand why this was marketed as cheaper shipping. I don't understand why it's being greenwashed. That's fun. I don't understand why they didn't warn us about all the negatives or any of the negatives. They could have at least told like Posh ambassadors a few of their people. They could have done this really differently and we wouldn't all feel so deeply disrespected right now. Those are my thoughts on it. Let me know your thoughts on it and let me know if you have any positives to add that I didn't go over, because I'm really looking for the positives right now and I'm having a hard time with that. When the algorithm change came out, I tried not to jump to any conclusions about whether or not that was impacting our sales until it very, very clearly was. And I'm going to try not to jump to too many conclusions about this now. I would love to have just those questions answered. Is it a maximum of £2 for the Purolator labels, or is it like the other labels where it just puts a weight and the maximum is more? I don't know. How offers to liker is going to work? I don't know. How is closet clear out going to work? I don't know. And is the authenticated shipping still $3.99 with Canada Post, or is it more? I don't know. And the fact that I don't know all those things right now and that I can't find anyone online who does is the most infuriating part of this. The frequently asked questions that they're answering are obvious and stupid, honestly. And we all still have a lot of questions and it's all just very frustrating. Okay, but I'm not trying to be completely negative about this. Like I said, there will be some positives. I do think that they did have to make this move. I just don't think they had to be so cloak and dagger about it, as per usual. So let me know your reaction in the comments below, and we're going to try and get this up as soon as we can. I'm upset. Okay, see you in the next video.
Did you tell them to hit like?
Hit like and subscribe.
Yeah.